Hello, fellow marketers. I'm Brian Bowie, and welcome to another episode of Directive R&D. Today, I'm joined by a fun special guest, a returning lab partner. We got Tim Davidson. How's it going, Tim?
Hey Brian, it's an honor again. This is the third time I think. So I'm trying to go for 100. So
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
getting
we'll
there.
get there.
I gotta keep testing.
Yeah. The more you test, the more you'll be in here. So Tim's one of our senior paid media strategists at Directive, and he's one of our, I would say, more innovative one and loves to test things that are outside the box. So today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn sponsored content ads, which is a popular ad format in LinkedIn ads. I think it's probably a starting point for most LinkedIn advertisers using sponsored content ads. So we prepared a quick deck on what we found. And Tim, you see my screen all right?
Yep.
Sweet. So like I mentioned, LinkedIn sponsored content ads, kind of like the starting point with a lot of LinkedIn advertisers. And as a starting point, when you look up LinkedIn best resources or best practices for this ad format, they actually tell you that the recommended image size for their sponsored content ads is 1200 by 627 pixels. A very common newsfeed type of ad format that you'll see in LinkedIn and Facebook. But Tim here, Mad Genius, wanted to test something different. So Tim, tell me about the test.
Yeah. Essentially, it's a square image, right? 1080 by 1080. It's actually like the kind of the best way in Facebook. Everyone's kind of moved that way. And it makes sense. So I basically started testing it because I did notice, a few months ago, it was able to actually format in LinkedIn. And it was working in Facebook. And, if you think about it, you're on your mobile phone, it's going to take up more of the screen. And as I'm going through that feed, you just start to notice that. And then you start testing it. And, as you can see here, it does look different, right? You get basically more landscape. And when you can do that, there's really no reason to not test that. And it was pretty good to see some great results.
Yeah. So as you can see from the screen, it was pretty split A/B. Most of the every component of the ad within the copy, the call to action, the flow of it was the exact same. All that was different was the format. And of course, the format, we're highlighting different things, but the copy is the same. So it was pretty split. And like you mentioned before, well, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but I think a rule we like to use in Google Ads is taking up more real estate and trying to capture more attention. You typically see higher conversion rates, higher click-through rates, higher interaction rates, and sometimes that can lead to more, leads and conversions. So that theory applies here. Maybe we'll jump into the results right now. No spoilers. So Tim, what did we find? What happened when we tested this?
Yeah. So as expected, the click-through is higher, right? Because if you're going to take up more landscape, obviously, your thumbs can click it hard. There's more space for you to click it with your thumbs, but also it's just it's a bigger image. And it was really good to see, the click-through rate much higher. Obviously we had more impressions on the first one there, but it's such a big difference there for good or bad, right? Like if you're paying cost per click, you don't want people to, click on it, but for the most part, you want people to click on it. But it's really interesting to see, as you mentioned, Brian, everything's the same except for the image was square versus rectangle. And, the click-through rate there is just wildly different.
Yeah. And I know some of our viewers are probably like, oh my gosh, they're testing a demo offer on LinkedIn. How is it working? Or how are they getting any form fills? So we definitely recommend testing a bunch of different offers, but be smart about the persona that you're targeting. This could have been, for this particular campaign, targeting someone lower in the funnel that might have shown some intent in one way or another. And and then we were driving leads through that via LinkedIn sponsored content ads.
It is remarketing, so I will say that. So it wasn't like just cold.
Yeah. So pretty cool insight. And I think I'm going to zoom out here as a quick one. I think just the fun part of that was something you might have not thought about testing. You used as a variable to run this experiment that, you can apply to a lot of different ads, a lot of different campaigns. And what was going back to it, the lift in click-through rate was very significant. and you might see a bunch more results just with that small change.
Exactly. If you want, obviously, if you need more people to actually see your landing page or click on your ad, square image could be that way, right? Such a big difference there from essentially 70.7% to I think it was 1.2%.
That's huge. And were you using a lead gen form there?
No, this is actually going to a demo page.
Okay.
So
maybe you need to inform that prospect more about your product or solution, and that's something to test too. But thanks, Tim. I hope you test more of these variables. There's so many different parts of the ad that people interact with, and I'm hoping this inspires the viewers out there to take a step back and see what you pay attention to when you're looking at your ad, and maybe what you can test next, and you'll see major results like Tim did. But Tim, thanks so much for joining the lab. Keep testing. Hopefully we bring you back. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'll be back. Gotta keep testing.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll catch everybody in the next lab. But thanks so much for tuning in, Tim, and take care.
Thanks, Brian.